Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video on Rotos the Lost Groom. Now he is a very powerful champion that was a recent fusion, and he came in and really shook up the meta as far as arena goes, as well as being great in clan boss and in most dungeons. So we'll go ahead and get into that a little bit later, but first we're going to be looking at his gear. Now as you can see, I have him in a Relentless set here, and that is the way that you definitely need to go with him. So Relentless, for anyone who doesn't know, is a 4 artifact set that gives an 18% chance to get an extra turn. So that 18% chance is good on pretty much any champion, but on champions like Rotos with his A1 that gives a 30% chance of granting an extra turn, it can really snowball, giving you a 30% chance to proc an extra turn just off of the base ability, an 18% chance off of the Relentless gear, and also, they can both proc on the same turn, which is insane. He can get 2 extra turns at once. The A1 also has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff. So the number of turns he gets, he's placing that pretty much all the time in something like Clan Boss. His A3 also ignores 75% of defense and unkillable and block damage buffs, and grants an extra turn if it kills an enemy. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. It's an insane skill, gives an extra turn, which again goes well with Relentless because the more turns you take, the more chances you get to proc that 18%, and it just snowballs really hard. This ability is great for Arena, it's great for Ice Golem. Looking at his A2 here, as you can see, all of his abilities are based on attack and HP, and that's because of his A2, which attacks one enemy, decreases the target's max HP by 20%, then adds that HP to this champion's own max HP. Now, you can't decrease a single champion's max HP by more than 60% in one battle, and cannot increase his HP by more than 60,000, and it does not decrease bosses' max HP. When you do hit a boss, his max HP will be increased by 15,000. So again, a great skill. I have mine at about 25,000 HP, so once he uses his A2 4 times against a boss, which happens quickly because it's on a 2-turn cooldown and he takes lots of extra turns, that will quickly get him to 85,000 health, which is just insane. He also has this passive here that is great for Arena, decreases damage from a single enemy hit so that incoming damage will not exceed 50% of this champion's max HP from that hit. Can occur once per enemy attack, grants an extra turn if this damage reduction occurs. So this is great in Arena because there's some champions that hit super hard and it'll just take him down to 50% and then he gets to take a turn. Now someone like a Neathui is a counter to this though because he hits multiple times and this can only stop one hit, so keep that in mind. Also, if Siphi is on the team with you, decreases the damage taken from bosses by 15%, decreases the damage taken from bosses by, it normally decreases the damage taken by bosses to 15%, but if Siphi's on the same team, make it 30% decreased damage from bosses. So they can go crazy together as well. Siphi is an amazing champion, and paired with them, they are insane. So let's look at the artifacts here. So obviously we've got 99% crit rate, about 2400 defense, 3750 attack, it looks like, about 25k HP, 99% crit rate, 191 speed, which is important so that he's going before the Ultra Nightmare Clan boss, 194% crit damage, and 209 accuracy to place that defense down. So in the gear here, I have crit damage gloves with a bunch of speed, 17 speed on those, as well as 14% attack and 5% crit rate. An attack percent chest plate with 10% crit rate and 11 speed, as well as 4% crit damage. Speed boots with a 13% defense, 10% crit rate. A speed shield with 7% defense percent and a 13 speed, 16% crit rate. 7% attack on the helmet, as well as 20% crit rate, 4% crit damage, and 18% crit rate on the weapon, as well as 14% attack and 7% crit damage. So this gear is pretty good. I know a lot of you probably won't have Relentless gear that's quite this good, but believe me, he'll be good with worse gear as well. Now, as far as the jewelry goes, we have an HP ring, because his damage is based off of both HP and attack, and his base HP is very low. As you can see here, it's only about 12,000. So this gives him 16% defense, which is really good, bringing him into clan boss. We do need some more defense, as well as 7% attack. Crit damage amulet, making sure he's hitting hard all the time with 41 accuracy here. So that's how I'm getting up to this number. Between just that, the banner here is also accuracy. So those two plus the Great Hall, that is the only accuracy I have in this build, but it gets him to 209, which is enough for Ultra Nightmare Clan boss, which is great. His banner is also giving him 7 speed, 11% HP, and a little bit of attack and HP base stats as well. So now let's get into his masteries. And since I am using him in Clan Boss, I'm taking the standard route between crit rate, crit damage, down to War Master, picking up Methodical. Then Life Drinker is actually super important for him in Clan Boss, because he has tons of HP, so he can take hits, but since he's not in Life Steal, you do need some way to heal him up, so he can usually keep himself alive pretty well with Life Drinker, especially if you do have other champions like maybe a Steel Skull that provide healing every once in a while. Then for Arena, we've got Cycle of Violence here. Has a 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn if the damage inflicted by a skill exceeds 30% of the target's max HP. Occurs once per turn. So this is very important in Arena. He hits super hard, and you want to be using that A3 as much as possible. So this can potentially bring it down from a 3-turn cooldown to a 2-turn cooldown. It's crazy. You can even get the A2 sometimes back to back. So that is a great mastery for him. Now, since I do have him Clan Boss, I am going Support Tree because I want him to place that decreased defense as much as possible. That's the role he's filling for me. So we're coming accuracy, accuracy, a little bit of turn meter. I did need Lore of Steel to get the last 2 speed on him to get into 191. And then I have Sniper, which increases his chance of placing the decreased attack by 5. As well as Master Hexer, which gives me a 30% chance to extend the decreased defense by 1 turn. So that's the build, guys. It's pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and get into some dungeons now. So let's see how that goes. So as far as the 4 main dungeons go, which would be Ice Golem's Peak, Spider's Den, Dragon's Lair, and Fire Knight's Castle, I believe Spider is the only one where you wouldn't really get any utility out of him. Ice Golem will probably be his best, so I'll save that for last. So we'll go ahead and start with Fire Knight. Now he's not going to do great on 20 because he'll be affinity countered. So I'm just going to take him back to 18 here and show you what he could do up until that point. So right now I'm coming in here, I've got 2 Armigers, I've got Miscreated Monster, Apothecary, and Stag Knight, which is a very strong team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out Miscreated Monster, who's normally my CC. And I'm going to find him, there we go. And just see how he does here. It's raining outside, so I'm sorry if that is cutting into the quality at all. But as you can see, going forward here, he's going to be hitting very hard. 89,710, 48,000. And he's increasing his health. When he uses his A1 next, you might see him take an extra turn. Almost killing him there. Well, let's see if we can get these extra turns going off. So I don't know if you noticed that right there, but he can actually hit with his A3 through a block unkillable, which is very strong. So even though that enemy was unkillable at that time, he did just go ahead and take him down. Not blocking any extra turns off of the A1 yet, but he normally does, especially in Clan Boss. You'll see later when I'm running it on auto. Alright, so we did lose an Armiger there. So that is the unfortunate thing about coming in here without Miscreated Monster, is that I don't have the CC to completely stop them from attacking, so some of my champions looks like are going to go down, at least the one Armiger, which is going to make the final boss fight a little bit harder. But let's see if it can do it on auto. If not, I'll just go ahead and switch it over to manual and kind of show you what you can do. But the hope here would be that Rotos takes a bunch of extra turns like that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to auto so we can just kind of see here. Alright, so we get an extra turn, we go again, so that's 2 hits from him. We have Apothecary speed us up. Stagnite, gonna get the slow hopefully, yep. So now Rotos will come in, boom, we got defense down. He puts his shield back up. So we're just going to keep attacking to try and knock that down. Unfortunately, it's looking like it's not super reliable. I mean, which we know. The extra turns can either go off crazy or not, just depending. But now we'll go ahead and just do some damage as much as we can. Get a decreased attack on there. Go for some max HP. Probably should have dropped turn meter, but it is what it is. And since he's about to get another go, I think I'll just go ahead and steal some health. Alright, we're coming back around. Go to A1. And this would probably be going a lot better if my second Armiger was alive, because he just wouldn't be able to take any turns. But that being said, it's going alright. We're pushing in some good damage here. The slow from Stagnite is definitely helping, and I just need to keep doing the A1 from Armiger to make sure that we are keeping the turn meter down. So as you can see, we're starting to rack up some extra turns here, and that is what Rotos is great for. He can just keep going. So we've got him locked down pretty good now that I've actually started using the A1 on Armiger here. And we should be wrapping this up, it looks like right around the 4-minute mark. And there it is. Alright, so that is Fire Knight 18 done. And that's not one that you have to auto, so you can just come through and do that. I'm sure a lot of you have a Cold Heart, something like that could replace an Armiger. That would go a lot better. Or if you had a Reviver in this team as well. And or if you just had some CC. I mean, the only reason the Armiger went down is because Miscreated Monster wasn't there. So that is Fire Knight. Let's go ahead and look at Dragon. Now Dragon, I usually bring him in as my damage, which is a little atypical. I need to take Tyrell out here because I took all of his gear off. So we'll go ahead and throw in Madame Ceres. That should work. But yeah, so normally you would go ahead and bring a Poisoner into Dragon, but Rotos can put out so much damage that you really don't need it. So we'll go ahead and get through the waves here. As you can see, Miscreated Monster applying the CC that he wasn't around for last time. That's just going to kind of help keep us alive. We got 2 turn meter boosters here, as well as decreased defense and attack, and then CC and shields. So that's a very strong combination, obviously, but typically I'd say what most people would come in here with would be 1 turn meter booster, some sort of Reviver, an AoE decreased defense, CC, and a Poisoner. So Rotos kind of is filling up the Poisoner position because he just outputs so much that I don't need to bring a Poisoner in as long as he's here. That being said, I'm sure there are faster ways that you can do it with a Poisoner, but since he helps me get through the waves so quickly, that's why I go with him. Because even though he's not as fast on the boss, the waves are usually what eats up the most of your time going through a run like this. Now if I had a Royal Guard or something like that where I could start setting up speed runs, that would be a different story. There we go, boom, he hits again, 2 down. As you can see, he's hitting for over 100k, which is pretty nutty. Boom, 41, 110, goes again for 83, and that's that wave down. So now we're on to the Dragon, we're at 1:35. So he's bumping up his health now with that A2. He'll be gaining 15,000 health every time he uses it. We got an extra turn off of the A1, 65k off of the A2, and the purple bar is down. So that's what Rotos can do for you. Normally you'd come in with a poisoner to take care of that, because as you stack up the poisons, when it comes around to his turn, it'll just knock it down. But with a team like this, as you can see, I've only got 1-2 people who are really built for damage, and Miscreated Monster not that much. I mean, he does okay, but mostly it's his War Master procs that are doing damage. Same with all of them, except for Rotos. So he's really bringing the almost entirety of the damage to this team. Everyone else is just kind of there to support him. And looks like we'll be killing the dragon right about 245, which is a pretty good time. See, 105,000 plus 51,000 from his War Master. And there goes the purple bar, easy. That's his last attack, and we'll go ahead and finish him off right now. Boom, 62 plus 51. That is it for Dragon. So now we'll go ahead and we'll show an Ice Golem what he can do. Now, Ice Golem, I think, is the best dungeon that you can bring him along into. So as you can see, we're running the exact same team that we were running in Dragon just a second ago. So normally I would run Tyrell in Dragon, but as I said, none of his gear is on right now. So I ran Masteries because she can fill the same role. She just doesn't do as much damage as Tyrell does. But in this case, she's actually better to bring into Ice Golem than Tyrell, because first of all, on wave 2, she can remove the reflect damage that can cause a lot of trouble for people. And also, she is maybe, if not one of the only AoE defense down champions that will actually place the decreased defense on the Ice Golem while the ads are up. So that is very helpful, because someone like a Stag Knight or a Tyrell, they just won't use it, so the ads won't get decreased defense, and it takes a lot longer to burst through them. So Madame Ceres is amazing if you have her. As you saw there, she just went ahead and removed the reflect damage, so we are free to just come through and attack to our heart's content. So Rotos is going to come through and just burst them all down. Boom, another turn, boom, another turn. And he went a little nutty there because I'm on unlimited frame rates, and that's kind of what Relentless Gear does, you know. You see people running around all over the place just throwing out hits. It's pretty crazy. So now that we're on to the boss, we can talk about what Rotos is really here for. And that is his insane single target damage, along with the fact that he can block revive. So boom, that one's down. Hopefully he'll get this one down on the first run too, but if not, that's fine. We can just come back and get him later. He also decreases their max HP, so even if he doesn't manage to block their revive, which he did on both of them here, then when they come back, they have less HP to work with. So he's very strong in that regard. And now that we have only the boss left to deal with, he can go ahead and burst him down pretty quickly. So I'm expecting we'll be looking at probably about a 2-minute, 45-second run here, just depending on how many freezes he gets off and such. And with both of the ads down, as you saw, the overhead swing really isn't anything to worry about. So when we're hitting for 100,000 damage back to back, you'll see those overhead swings are going to start coming out more and more frequently, especially if Rotos starts taking more turns off of his Relentless. There it goes again. And we're just whittling away at this poor guy. He's got no one left to help him. 164 plus 43, that's 200,000 damage off of his A3, including the War Master proc. And we've got him down to about a quarter of his health now. So it looks like it's going to be closer to 3 minutes. We got an extra turn there off of the Relentless. And this guy is coming to his end right here. Boom, 201,000. That is it for the Ice Golem. We did it in 2 minutes, 53 seconds. My best time with this team is 2 minutes, 23. So that is Rotos in Dungeons. As I said, he's not that great in Spider. He is great in all of these other ones, Minotaur, Magic, Spirit. He just puts out so much damage that you don't even have to worry about something like the Spirit keep healing, because he just pushes right through it. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you that really quick. So this is the team I normally come in there with. Again, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Stag Knight here instead of Tyrell. So I don't have any sort of decrease healing on this team. The goal is just to burst straight through it. So there goes the first wave. And obviously a level 15 dungeon isn't really anything crazy. But Spirit Keep can be a little bit annoying if you don't have anyone good with heal reduction, like a Cold Heart or something like that. But if you can just build enough damage to burst right through it, then it doesn't matter. So as you'll see here, there goes one ad. Boom, we've already got her close to half health, but she's going to go ahead and heal it up. She's got the block debuffs, which is unfortunate, because if we could have the decreased defense up, we could do this even faster. But I think that's probably going to be the last turn that she gets to take, because we should just be coming through right now to wipe her out. Boom, look at that hit, 90,000, 14,000. Oh, she did get one more, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, a minute run on Spirit Keep isn't too bad. A minute 5 with no decreased healing. So he puts it out, 416,000 damage. That's twice as much as anyone else here. So now we're going to go ahead and get into Arena, which is really his bread and butter. So let me go ahead and refresh, see if I can get some tougher teams here. Let's go for this one. So as you can see, we've got Arbiter, Madame Ceres, Sylar, I think. Yeah, Sylar, and Hackhorn Smashlord. So this team is pretty strong. Looks like it's meant to kind of push down on a Tormin as far as the Sylar goes. And it's definitely not the strongest team out there. I don't think it'll be that tough to beat, but we'll go ahead and go into it. So yeah, see, she doesn't proc the freeze from Tormin like a lot of other people do. So instead of increasing the turn meter, she's just going to go ahead and decrease it. But the problem with that does come is if you have an Arbiter or someone like that, it doesn't really matter because she's still going to be going through and freezing up your teammates, unfortunately. But as you saw there, he just went through and one-shotted 2 of them. He's a pretty crazy champion, and as soon as we get back around, I'm sure you'll see him kill someone again. Or maybe not. So we do have a decreased attack here. But let's see. There's no decreased defense with a decreased attack. Let's see what he hits for. 17,000. So, I mean, that is something that you would see a normal champion hit for without any of that holding them back. So it's pretty wild. So now we'll come in here. It should be his turn right now. And we should have the A3 available. So again, decreased attack, no decreased defense. Let's see what happens. Boom, 41k. It's just insanity. 38k. Again, so he hits super, super hard. Let's go ahead and see if we can find another one. Let's see, this one looks all right. So we've got Fushan, Tyrant, Apothecary, and Molly. So he's very strong also in that he blocks revive, and there's a lot of revive that goes on in the arena. So let's say a Molly Tankard here. If I go ahead and kill this Tyrant Ixlimore, she could normally bring him back, but since I blocked the revive, she can't. So even if this doesn't manage to kill her, she's not going to be able to bring him back. But obviously it did because Rotos hits super hard. Looking at 60k on a Molly, and that wasn't even the one that ignores defense. So let's go ahead and finish this up here. So the A1 here, boom, 36,000. And remember, I don't even have 200% crit damage on this guy, or 4,000 attack even. So he can definitely hit a lot harder with the right team. Let's go ahead and go into this one. We've got a Santa, we got Roshard, we got Warlim, and Faceless, is that what he's called? Yeah. So Faceless is going to be their kind of nuker for this team. So we're going to come through, turn meter boost just like normal, go ahead and drop all their defense. Why isn't it working? There we go. Okay, so In this kind of situation, I want both Santa and Roshard, the tower here, to go down. So let's see if I can finish him with the A3. Oh, not quite. So he does struggle a little bit against HP-based champions just because, I mean, even though he hits super hard, they've just got such high HP, it might not kill them. But that's fine when he's got the team to back him up, so we can just come back around here. And he can finish off Sir Nick, hopefully. Yep, 61k. And then let's go ahead and remove that veil. And finish him off, and now all we have left is Whirlim Frost King, which shouldn't be any issue at all. Especially, nope, we don't have the A3, but that's fine. We can still do 34k, come through, remove that, and we should be finishing him off right here with Arbiter. Boom. So that's Rotos in Arena. In my past Arena videos, I've featured him heavily, so if you want to see a lot tougher fights than this featuring him, you can go ahead and check back on my Arena videos. But we're going to go ahead and jump into Clan Boss now. So Clan Boss, I'm going to be bringing him into Ultra Nightmare. And currently with my team composition, I cannot actually 4-key Ultra Nightmare yet. You know, I'm still working on it, testing out different stuff. But you can kind of get the gist of what he does. He definitely works a lot better in Nightmare on the current build that I have. Oh shoot, I did not mean to do that. I was just moving the camera, but that's fine. So we've got the Weaken on. We'll go ahead and boost speed. Try and get the attack down from Jarek. Nope. Get the poison sensitivity from Frozen Banshee. So now what I'm going to do with Rotos is I'm going to be rushing him through 4 rotations of his A2 to max his health as early as possible. And the reason for that is because I want to maximize the amount of damage that he can do, since his damage scales on both his HP as well as his attack. So we'll go ahead and do that. We don't need any healing yet. And an important thing to note on my team here, the only ones in lifesteal are actually Jareg and Frozen Banshee. So we will be having to go through and heal up. Rotos can typically take care of himself though, as long as he has the Life Drinker Mastery. So once he gets below 50%, he just heals himself up. So as you saw there, we took 2 extra turns. We got 2 more rounds of the A2 in, so 1 more and his HP will be maxed. Now since we have 3 turns already on the attack down, I'm just going to go ahead and put up my Ally Protect and get some more poisons from Frozen Banshee here. So this should be the last one. Boom. So we've only gone through, what, 3 rotations, I think, but he's already used his A2 4 times. So it is pretty crazy the amount of extra turns he can get. I believe the most I've seen him take at one time was 17 turns in a row using just his A1. So he is definitely a monster. Go ahead and turn meter boost here, and I do play this on auto. So not on auto rather, but on manual. So once we get a good show of him taking some extra turns, I think I'll just go ahead and skip to the end. So that was just 1. But we'll see if we can get a little bit better than that. But if not, that'll be fine. I'll just cut to later in the video where he does it, because inevitably throughout the fight he will. So let's see if we can get something here. No. Alrighty, well I will cut it here, and I will come back in if he starts doing anything crazy. Alright, so that's 1 extra turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Took 8 extra turns there. So that's kind of what Rotos can come through and do for you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and just bring it back at the end to show you how much damage we do here. Alrighty, so we're coming up towards the end of the fight here. As you can see, we're hitting around the 9-minute mark so far, and the boss is starting to hit quite hard. So I don't imagine we'll be lasting too much longer. But, oh shoot, I messed that up. Oh well, it didn't really matter. So that is going to be the end of it right there. And Rotos, as you can see, has done a good job of keeping the decreased defense up. That's about an 18 million key there. Which, let me see here, I don't remember exactly what the top damage is. So, actually, yeah, with an 18 million key, I could go ahead and 4 key Ultra Nightmare there. And I'm sorry, I should have left that screen up longer, but if you want to go back and check, I'm sure Rotos and Frozen Banshee definitely did the majority of that damage, probably more so Rotos. But that's how he functions in the clan boss. He takes lots of turns, keeps the decreased defense up as long as you have his accuracy looking pretty good, over 200 at least. And he just pumps out tons of damage. So that is the guide on Rotos the Lost Groom. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything you'd like to see in future content, please let me know down in the comments below, and subscribe for future videos. Thanks.